Your doctor may have prescribed this to you, but the ship's captain doesn't care. Last week, I had to escort a passenger off the ship in Jamaica who had prescription CBD gummies in her bag just for sleep. No refund, no flight ticket home. I'm explaining that one innocent item that is perfectly legal on land, but makes you a criminal the moment you step onto the ship. Hi, I'm Kelvin. Most of you don't see me sipping cocktails by the pool or dining in the restaurant. My team and I show up when things go wrong, when that sweet dream turns into a nightmare. I've been responsible for security and operations on these massive ships for years, and I'll be honest with you. As the 2026 season approaches, cruise lines have completely shelved their tolerance policy, saying, "I didn't know. It was just a joke," or "I promise I won't do it again," will no longer save you. Today, we are going to talk about 10 critical mistakes that will get you left on the pier with your luggage in a foreign port in the middle of your vacation, effectively burning your holiday. This isn't a scare tactic. These are real events happening on real ships right now that I have personally witnessed. If you don't want to burn a $5,000 vacation and pay thousands of dollars in fines over a $20 mistake, listen to me carefully. Section 1. The legal drug trap at the top of our list is a topic that passengers argue about the most, but we never debate: banned substances. And no, I'm not just talking about illegal drugs. The trap is right here. Imagine this. You're at home, maybe living in California or a European country where CBD is legal. For your sleep problems, anxiety, or chronic pain, your doctor has prescribed you medical cannabis or CBD oil. You throw it in your bag saying, "I have a prescription, it's my legal right, it's my medicine." That's where you made the mistake. The moment you step into the cruise terminal, the state laws of your home end and international maritime laws and federal laws begin. In the eyes of the cruise line, that prescription is invalid. Many cruise lines are now using specially trained canine dogs, especially on embarkation days. If our dog smells those CBD gummies, oils, or creams in your bag, we don't just confiscate the product, we deny you boarding. No refund. Vacation over. If you're asking, "You're exaggerating, Kelvin. Do they really enforce this?" Let me tell you about a recent incident. A social media influencer boarding the Mariner of the Seas brought her legally prescribed medical marijuana. Security detected it. The result? The captain and senior officers made the call. She had to go. No warning, no lecture. She was escorted off the ship in Jamaica, walked through customs, and told to find her own way home entirely at her own expense. The policy is that strict. So leave that bottle at home. Section 2. Hidden eyes on the balcony. Second on the list is the one thing that keeps cruise captains awake at night: fire. And the biggest factor causing it: smoking on the balcony. I know you think, "My balcony is my private space. I paid a ton for this. No one can see. It's 2 a.m. You are wrong. The exterior hulls of our ships are equipped with ultra-sensitive smoke detectors and thermal cameras pointed downwards. We can instantly detect the heat of that cigarette you lit, or the cloud of vapor from an e-cigarette even in pitch darkness. An alarm goes off on the bridge, and we know exactly which balcony it's coming from. Your contract states this clearly. The penalty for smoking on a balcony is usually $500 per violation. But what's changing in 2026 is this: you may no longer be able to just pay the fine and get away with it. If the security team decides it was a deliberate violation, sees you throwing the butt overboard, or if you repeat it despite our warning, you will be put off the ship at the next port. Fire is the biggest threat at sea, and our tolerance for this rule is 0. Section 3. Armed souvenirs. Let's get to a mistake that looks innocent, but can get you treated like a terrorist. Souvenirs bought in port. Let's say you're in an exotic port city and you found a great antique shop. You saw a decorative dagger, a replica of a historic pistol, or a very stylish large pair of scissors. You said, "This would make a great wall decoration," bought it, and threw it in your backpack. When you pass through the X-ray machine on your return to the ship, the alarm starts blaring. If you didn't declare this to the security team beforehand and tried to hide it deep in your bag, you are in big trouble. Even some self-defense tools like pepper spray are illegal in many Caribbean countries and cannot be brought onto the ship. Best case scenario, the item is confiscated and stays with us until the cruise ends. Worst case scenario, you are denied boarding for attempting to smuggle a weapon, or you are handed over to the local police. The rule is simple. Did you buy something that looks like a weapon or is sharp or pointed? Tell security before you put your bag on the belt. Honesty is the difference between having an item confiscated and being considered a security threat. Section 4. The generous parent trap. Now, a trap parents often fall into. The misconception that we are in international waters, rules are flexible here. You want to buy your 19-year-old son or daughter a beer. After all, the drinking age might be 18 in Europe or Mexico. But on US-based ships like Royal Caribbean, Carnival, or Disney, the rule is 21 and over. Everywhere. This isn't just a minor rule violation. It's a massive legal liability for the ship. Bartenders are now trained to track card sharing and drink handoffs. And here is the terrible detail most people don't know. Carnival's contract explicitly states that if you attempt to provide alcohol to someone under 21, not only you, but the entire group traveling with that minor can be disembarked. Think about it. One beer, a simple handoff, and at the next port, your entire family is on the pier with their luggage. No refund, no help getting home. It's not worth throwing thousands of dollars in the trash for a beer. Transition. Section Add-on. 1. The drink package scam. While we're on the subject of alcohol, let's talk about a mistake many of you think is a clever money-saving hack, but we record as theft of services, sharing the drink package. We know the scenario. One spouse pays $8,100 a day for the deluxe beverage package. The other spouse doesn't. The package holder goes to the bar, gets a cocktail, gives it to their spouse. 10 minutes later, they go and get another one. You think you beat the system. You are wrong. On modern ships, bartenders have systems that track the frequency of your orders. If you are getting drinks every 5 minutes at a speed that defies human limits, the system raises a red flag. Also, our bartenders and plainclothes security personnel are trained to spot sleight-of-hand pass-offs. If you get caught, and you will get caught, the best thing that will happen to you is your package gets canceled and the full price of every drink you consumed up to that point gets charged to your account. But if you are doing this on a systematic fraud level, the cruise line considers this theft. And yes, I have seen couples kicked off the ship just because of a drink package. Don't get branded a thief to save a few $100s. Section 5. No escaping the drill, looking for the fastest way to get kicked off before the ship even leaves the port. Then become a victim of your ego and skip the muster drill. Seasoned cruisers often think, I've been on 20 cruises. I know how to put on a life jacket. I'm not going into that crowd. And they go hide in the buffet or wait in the restroom. Don't do this. Under maritime law, it is illegal for the ship to untie its lines and move until every single passenger on board has completed the drill. You are holding up 4,000 people while we wait for you to scan your card, and captains hate this. If you continue to hide despite the announcements or get into an argument with the staff saying, "I don't have to do this," security will find you. And they won't take you to the drill station. They will take you to the exit gangway. You will be escorted off with your luggage and the ship will sail without you. We do not joke about this. Section 6. Throwing things overboard. I can't believe I have to say this, but it still happens. Throwing something off your balcony, a cigarette butt, a message in a bottle, or a piece of bread from breakfast to feed the fish. Do not do it. International maritime laws are incredibly strict about ocean dumping. Those cameras on the hull of the ship I mentioned, they see objects falling into the sea too. If the ship gets fined for pollution because of you, that fine is passed on to you, and it doesn't stop at just a fine. Throwing something overboard is grounds for immediate disembarkation. Saying it was just an apple core doesn't change the situation. For us, this is an environmental crime. Section 7. The desire to be an influencer and drones. We are in the age of social media and everyone wants that perfect shot. But some shots could be your last shot on the ship. First, sitting on railings, perching on the balcony railing for that sunset selfie, or climbing over the balcony divider to get to your friend next door. If security cameras or a crew member sees you sitting on an exterior railing, there is no 3 strikes rule. You are kicked off instantly. Cruise lines are terrified of this because if you fall, the liability is on them. Royal Caribbean banned a man and his entire group for life after he jumped off his balcony in Nassau. For life. You can never step foot on any of their ships again. And tech enthusiasts, drones. Most ships allow you to bring drones, but you cannot fly them on the ship. You can only use them on land. If you fly a drone near the ship's bridge or on the deck to get that cool wake view footage, you are violating international security laws. This endangers the ship's navigation safety. Best case scenario, we confiscate the drone. Worst case, we put you off at the next port. Section 8. Noisy intimacy. A bit embarrassing, but a topic that needs to be discussed. Walls. Ship walls are thin, very thin. If your private moments in your cabin are loud enough to be heard in the hallway, or if you engage in inappropriate behavior on your balcony, your neighbors will complain. When security knocks on your door, it might not just be a warning. If your behavior reaches the level of public indecency or guest disturbance, especially if you are on a balcony in a position visible from other ships or cameras, you will be put off the ship. Yes, families have been kicked off for this. Respect your privacy, but remember that this is a family environment. Section 9. Too much intimacy with the crew. We all love the crew, they work very hard, but sometimes passengers, especially solo travelers, misunderstand that friendliness. Our rule number? Fraternizing. You developed a crush on a bartender or a dancer and invited them back to your cabin after their shift. You need to know this. It is strictly forbidden for crew to enter guest cabins unless they are on duty for housekeeping or maintenance. There are cameras in the cabin corridors. There are door entry logs. If you let a crew member into your room, you are not only causing them to get fired, you are also getting yourself kicked off the ship for compromising security. Don't burn their career and your own vacation. Transition. Section add-on. 2. The crew-only sign is not a suggestion. Another critical mistake related to crew is curiosity. I understand you are curious about the ship's operations, the engine room, or the galley. But slipping through a door marked crew only just to have a look or take a photo? That is the stupidest thing you can do in a post-9/11 world. There are sensitive areas for ship security. If you enter an operational area without authorization, even if your intention is just curiosity, we have to treat this as potential sabotage or a security threat. In such a case, you will suddenly find yourself in the security office under cross-examination. The defense, "I just went through the wrong door," might not save you. If the captain considers this a serious security breach, you will be put off with your luggage at the next port. Don't wonder what's behind those mysterious doors on the ship. Behind those doors is just an early ticket home. Section 10. The biological lie and the reality of the brigand. Finally, two topics that are no joke in 2026. Health and fighting. Remember that health form you fill out before boarding? That paper asking, "Have you had vomiting or diarrhea in the last 24 hours?" If you are sick and you lie to get on the ship, that is a crime. If you get sick on board and hide it, the ship has the authority to quarantine you or put you off. Be honest on the form. Also, your behavior on board. Recently, a group of streamers on Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas harassed other passengers and started fights. Security didn't play around. 7 people were kicked off the ship in Honduras and Mexico in the middle of their vacation. And know this, a ship is not a prison, but it's not a legal void either. There is a brig, a jail on board. It doesn't have the comfortable bed of your suite, no window, just a bunk and a locked door. Physical violence, theft, or verbal abuse of the crew will cause us to host you in that cell until the next port. Outro and financial reality. Listen, the ship captain's authority is much broader than you think. If the captain decides that you threaten the safety of the ship or the peace of other passengers, they have the right to put you off. There is no appeal process. No, "let me speak to the manager." And the most bitter part, the story doesn't end when you get kicked off the ship. The real nightmare begins then. The ship leaves you in a foreign country's port. You are left alone with your passport. You have to buy a last-minute flight ticket home, which can cost thousands of dollars. You have to find a hotel to stay in, and the cruise line does not refund you for the remainder of your vacation. So, a simple cigarette on the balcony pleasure or the arrogance of skipping the drill can cost you $5,000 to $10,000. These rules are not there to ruin your vacation. They are there to ensure the safety of 5,000 people in the middle of the ocean. Please, think twice about that innocent pill in your suitcase or that pleasure cigarette on the balcony. I'm Kelvin, and I wish you a safe and compliant vacation. Share this video with your friends going on a cruise so they don't get left on the pier with their luggage. See you in the next video. Smooth sailing.